Can you hear me? Good. Now, strap yourself in and get ready for the next big pod. Your source for all the latest news from the world of boxing. From York Hall and the Echo Arena to Manderson Square Garden and the bright lights of Las Vegas. We bring you the best and worst the sweet science has to offer. We've assembled a panel of experts from across the British Isles, as well as a star-studded roster of celebrity guests. So sit back, open a large packet of crisps, and enjoy a tasty slice of boxing chat courtesy of the next big pod.
Welcome back, Next Big Pod fans. Welcome to our second show. With me this week, I've got regular panel members Alex Morris of this parish, Brian King, Andy Roy, newcomer, and very special guest, the man himself, Rocco De Campo, straight out of South London by way of Verona. And Andy Roy as well, joining us.
Me.
And Tom. And Tom.
Thank you very much.
Tom Jameson back from the first show.
Thank you.
So, yeah, five of us total again. And we're going to be kicking off the second edition of the Next Big Pod with a bit of discussion of last night's fights, which have sort of slipped under the radar a little bit due to the fact that they were on a Sunday night or a Sunday afternoon, as it was in America, strangely enough. But Jamie McDonnell got another decision win over Tomoki Keda. I think was the first fight a UD. I think this was the second unanimous decision win.
The first fight was a unanimous decision, but it was all 114, 113. Mm-hmm. This one was a little bit different.
A little bit wider. And yeah, Tom, do you want to kick us off? How did you score it, first of all?
I actually had it 118, 110 to Jamie McDonnell. I thought Keda won 2 rounds. Are you going to watch it anytime
soon, or not?
Maybe.
Sorry, go on. I think that's actually what the international feed had it. I think they had McDonnell 9 rounds to 3, maybe.
Yeah, I had it 9 rounds to 2 with 1 even. 118, 110, obviously with the knockdown at the last, which
you had an even round.
Knockdown.
Okay,
yeah. I think it was the 7th that I had even. I got a load of stick off Sam Carp for calling an even round, but I had to.
Yeah, it was a tough one, wasn't it? I thought it was. Keda started reasonably well with McDonnell sort of sweeping the mid to late rounds, and then the last 2 or 3 being very even again before the knockdown. But everyone else, Brian, how did you have it scored, mate?
Brian's just dropped off. His phone's running. He's just got to charge it. I'll be back in 2 minutes, mate.
Brilliant. You're right. Do you want to jump in, Andy?
I never scored it yet. I watched it the day on the YouTube stream, but it was kind of similar to the first fight. I thought that Keda started off well. I gave him, he probably won the first 2 or 3, and then it's McDonnell's engine. He's renowned for this. He just kind of, once he gets into about 4th or 5th, he's quite a slow starter. And then when he gets into mid-rounds, he'll kind of up the gear and put on the pressure. And the fight kind of went the way I thought it was going to go. I thought he would have won with a bit more rounds, which he done. It was a good fight. And I think that hopefully he gets a bit more credit than he did the last time, because in my opinion he never get nothing, you know what I mean? Even Alex was saying during the week there that the Leeds card got something like, I think it was Friday you were talking about, Alex, wasn't it? That the Leeds show had got 15 or 50 mentions or whatever.
I was being a bit of a sad cunt and counting.
And Jamie got like 5 or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just, Hearn's got these guys that he doesn't seem to either like or care about, really. Like Ricky Burns, Jamie and John Ryder's in that category as well. They don't seem to get the kind of promoting that they should. Do you know what I mean?
I think just very quickly, Alex, you can jump in a sec. I think McDonald's he was quite a hard sell a year ago, and I remember him he was very low on the Liverpool bill on the Bellew Cleverly card, And
He was first on, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on at like it was like 5 o'clock or something, wasn't it?
He struggled in that fight. He didn't look good at all. He looked kind of, I don't know, he wasn't up for it or anything like that. But the first Keda fight, I'll be honest, I thought Keda would have won and won by knockout. So when he won the first fight, I was majorly impressed, and I've kind of took a bit more interest in him and his career as well, because I think he's got the talent, but he doesn't get he's not got the promotional, like Eddie and obviously the other Matchroom guys promote people like really well, but I think he's got the talent and they don't promote him half as well as his talent deserves.
Sorry, Andy, we're just trying to see if Brian's joined. Brian, pipe up if you're
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back on now. What was your card, mate, from last night?
I had a 116, 111.
Okay.
It wasn't a close fight at all. I had like Keda like 2 rounds up the first 2 rounds, but after that, I'm just checking it back, it was 100, 116, 111. After the first 2 rounds, I didn't give Keda another round until the 8th, and I thought maybe that or the 9th round that I gave him as well was one of them was a pity round. After the second round, McDonald worked him out. He just basically knew that Keda couldn't fight off the back foot, so he just started pressuring him, and he kind of used his jab as well, just to kind of get in there. And anytime Keda kind of moved forward, it was just kind of telegraphing punches, and it was an easy fight.
I thought he moved his head incredibly well, and was slipping a hell of a lot of stuff.
I get bored off it quick though, because nobody likes to see a one-sided fight, unless there was some sort of technical skill. But a lot of it was, as much as he was using his jab, he was making sure that Keda missed a lot. A lot of it was kind of sloppy as well. Keda made it that way because he just didn't know what to do. Just after as soon as it went to the third round, as soon as he was worked out, he just didn't do nothing. I thought like some of the American scorecards were insane. I seen a load of them saying that Keda had won. Paulie Malignaggi said that he had like Keda winning handedly. He's like, I could see how people maybe have it a bit closer because they were close rounds. But I said earlier on, see, as much as the rounds were close, Keda never ever done anything. He didn't do anything enough to win the rounds. Like Jamie McDonnell was outworking him every single round. Like some people that maybe kind of score like a fight aggressive style, but Keda wasn't coming forward. It was Jamie that was doing that. He was also using the jab. He was like landing the most punches. There wasn't one thing Keda was doing well that Jamie wasn't doing better than him. So as much as people might say it was like a really good fight, it wasn't really competitive, and that's probably a compliment to Jamie McDonnell that he made it so easy.
I agree with you largely. I saw quite a lot of Americans who I think maybe swayed by the commentary were quite surprised by the cards.
But the commentary had Jamie McDonnell like winning at 11 rounds to 1.
The international feed did, but I think the CBS feed with Paulie on it.
Really?
Virgil Hunter
Apparently.
Virgil Hunter had McDonnell by 4 or 5. Sorry, had Keda by 4 or 5 rounds, I think, as well. And Dan Rayfield, obviously had it.
He had
Keda 8 rounds to 1 up at one point.
Dan Rayfield, did he not score like Donier beating Rigondeaux?
Yes, he did.
That's because he's a smart kid. But a fast smart kid.
There was a very funny bit in the broadcast of that when Lampley had just said like this is turning into a clinic. It was in like the 9th round or something, and apparently Rayfield sort of stood up and like tapped him on the shoulder and said sort of, "What are you talking about? It's a really close fight." And like Roy Jones and Kellerman turned around and went, "What? Like Donair's won like 1 round. What are you talking about?" And Rayfield was convinced it was like a really even sort of tactical fight. And yeah, I just don't know what they're seeing sometimes.
The reason that Dan Raphael was saying that is because he's actually had a sugar overdose in a Dunkin' Donuts yesterday, and that's why he was scoring it like that.
Somebody stole his credit card.
No, the reason is because Dan Raphael weighs about 3 times the size of both of those two lads put together, so he hates the little guys a lot.
But see the thing with that fight though is, I don't understand why people have got like a preference type of fighters that they like. Just say they like aggressive come forward fighters, so they'll score fights in their favour, or they like boxers, they'll score in our favour. I don't get that. You score a fight the way it is. If somebody's winning, somebody's winning. But in this fight, Jamie McDonnell was the aggressor. He was a better boxer. He had the better movement. Everything he was doing was better than Keda. So I don't know how MD, and I'm meant to be the Matchroom hater, I don't know how MD in the right mind could have fucking scored that fight to Keda.
I think just very quickly, sorry Alex, I'll pass to you in a sec. The one thing I'd say is the McDonnell fans, it's obviously it's a very, opinion is very split on the fight. All the McDonnell fans say the same thing. He was pressuring, he was coming forward, he was throwing more, and he was slipping a lot of shots. The Keda fans, I've heard all sorts of opinions. I've heard people say he outboxed McDonnell, which doesn't make any sense. I've heard that he was consistently beating him to the punch, which is nonsense. And then I've heard that he landed much harder shots and buzzed him, and I didn't see McDonnell hurt once in that.
Maybe he had the more cleaner punches, like he's like hooks and that. But Jamie McDonnell was beating them to the jab constantly. He was always the guy getting the first punch off.
Yeah, I agree, and he was making Keda miss a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex, you shoot.
Yeah, I'm obviously one of the ones who had the fight a lot closer than, well, you guys especially, and pretty much everyone. I had it 114, 113 to Jamie. I don't see any way how Keda could have won, saying that. I pretty much gave Keda all the close rounds in there. The ones that Jamie won were absolute, he ran away with those rounds. He was absolutely dominant in them. There were certain rounds where, he was aggressive pretty much throughout the entire fight, Jamie. We can all agree on that, but a lot of times it was ineffective aggression. I think that a lot of the times he would get Keda to the corners or get him to the ropes, but then Keda would slip away too easily. He wouldn't keep him there. He wouldn't tee off on him, as it were. He wouldn't throw in enough punches. What he did do excellently was control the distance. He made it so that Keda was missing a hell of a lot of his shots, but unfortunately he wasn't landing much of his own back. He was throwing, but again it was a lot of pitter-patter on the gloves, I think, from both men. But ultimately the way I saw the fight and the reason why Jamie won the fight was his control of the distance. It was his control of the ring. He dominated the center of the ring, and he constantly pushed Keda back, even if it wasn't always effective at times. I can't see why anyone thought Keda won that. He just seemed flummoxed at times. He seemed like he didn't know what to do. He should have stuck to his jab more. In the early rounds he did use his jab, and it was very precise, and it kept Jamie off of him, and he managed to get break down that distance control. But when he got a bit confused by it all, I think that he just started winging in left hooks, right hooks, uppercuts, things, just trying to get in a strong counter, maybe to try and floor Jamie again. I think maybe he was hoping his power was gonna, maybe save the day for him a little bit, because he managed to put Jamie down in the first fight, obviously, but it just wasn't doing the job for him, and ultimately that was his own downfall. I think that his own, his own inability to deal with the pressure was typically the downfall, and that's why Jamie won.
I agree with that very much. I think the best you could have had it was a draw. In Keda's, best you could have had it in Keda's favour was a draw, but obviously with the 10-8 that goes out the window. Rocco, did you watch the fight, mate?
I didn't just all. I watched bits of it, and further to what you're saying, I mean, the bits that I watched, I'm not sure if it was the highlights at the end of a round or at the end of the fight where they show like rough highlights of bits of the fight, but all the bits they seemed to show were of Keda landing, the sort of like telling punches and things like that on the little highlights. So obviously that comes from the American feed. But I mean, I just think you've got to give McDonald such good credit, because the narrative is that he's gone over to Keda's backyard. Well, not his backyard, but he was the house fighter. He's gone over there. He's won a fairly closest decision before. They've brought him straight back over for an immediate rematch, and he's beat him again, albeit by most people slightly more convincingly. So I mean, the narrative. It would be the same, I suppose, for Crawler and Perez. The idea being that, bring him straight back over for an immediate rematch. So the fact that he's won twice over there when he probably wasn't expected to, it's just really
elevated him, right?
Elevated him, yeah. I just thought, but as I say, I haven't seen it all from bell to bell, so I've,
I do think it's worth watching, mate. Even though it wasn't an action-packed fight, but it was a very interesting sort of tactical contest. I think it's the sort of thing that's if you see someone's scorecard, it's interesting. You can learn a lot about the way they see fights by scoring something like that, because it was so tactical at times.
See what I thought was impressive about it. See the first 2 rounds. I tweeted like after 2 rounds that Kameda's timing was excellent, because what he was doing, he was waiting for like Jamie to kind of make a wee bit of a move, and then he was timing like the right jab, and then moving, then timing him again, and it was perfect for the first 2 rounds. But the fact that like Jamie McDonnell worked this out, and after that just took complete control. I mean, I've never been. I like Jamie McDonnell. I think he achieved well, like getting the IBF belt over here, the undefeated champion, and all that. But last night, I was more impressed with last night than I was in the first fight. Just for the fact is, he was losing the first 2 rounds, and he just totally adjusted, and he took the guy's soul. That's what he done, because Kameda didn't know what to do after about 6 rounds. I tweeted that as well, that I was like, he doesn't know what to do. He wants to quit. He's got absolutely no answer for it.
He looked very puzzled from the mid rounds on. I agree.
Right.
And at the final bell, he just sort of shrugged when he went back to his corner, as if to say, like, I don't know what I could have done, to be honest. Like, McDonnell was convinced he'd won that fight. You could see the way he celebrated, and I think that sort of, that told us. And Kameda's come out after the fight and said, "Oh, I thought I won," but you can tell in their reaction in the moment that McDonnell got the better of him. And Rocco, going back to what you said, he's gone to America twice now, and he's won all 6 cards. So I don't think it can be chalked up as 2 dodgy decisions, to be honest.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like I say, without watching, like I say, I've only seen bits and highlights at the end. But as I say, with regards to that highlights thing, it must have been like the American feed, but it might have been after a couple of rounds. But it was showing like Kameda landing like punches, and I thought, well, hang on, because I hadn't seen it in the early rounds. I thought, well, is he getting on? Is he winning or what? But no. I mean, he's excellent to go over there. Like the narrative being, and he's not the ass fighter, to go over there and beat the same geezer twice.
And he was a betting underdog both times, wasn't he? I think.
Exactly. I mean, that's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I don't think it's quite up there with. I saw some people saying it was up there with, what was
they were saying
Brooke
the
beating
best
Porter, or
ever.
Darren Barker beating
Onigan
Beal,
Curry,
or whatever it was, or like these sort of epic performances. I don't know if it's quite up there with them, but it's a very, very good pair of wins against a sort of a legit world level guy. Bit like Joel Brunker,
the fact that he was getting sent over, and he's basically getting sent all there to lose. I think that's.
Oh yeah, he was sent over to lose.
He was getting sent there to lose, and the first time he upset the odds, and then obviously Kameda he'd activated the rematch clause, if I'm right in saying that.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So he's obviously thinking, I can win this. I want my win back, fully expecting, and Heyman that'll be thinking that as well. So he's been all there, and he's upset the apple cart twice, and I take my hat off to him. It's 2 cracking wins.
Well, he was sent over to lose the first time, and on the same card, Ricky Burns was sent over to win and completely fucked it up. So it's nice to see a British fighter holding up their end of the
shit. Don't even.
How'd you feel about that, Brian?
Fuck you, wee wanker.
Burns won that fight.
He's talking to someone else. Brian, can you pay attention, please, to the pod? Right, so guys, we're impressed with McDonnell. To be honest, just as impressed with Bellew. He got the job done against a really tough opponent, and he looked sensational at times, I'd say. Slick.
Absolutely incredible.
Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. If Bellew was from, say, a country like Hungary or Finland, I think he'd be borderline journeyman. Genuinely.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he'd have been shopped around. He would have got beaten up by all the big names. If he didn't have the backing, he would have double-digit losses. Especially
he would be very similar
Yeah.
to the guy that he fought the other night.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for the first 3 rounds, honestly, I had it a shutout to the Latvian fella. Like, Bellew didn't know what he was doing. It was embarrassing. And the only reason that Bellew got back into the fight was because the other guy started to gas.
Now, yeah, you could see he'd had like 5 days to prepare, and he was knackered by the 4th round.
I maintain that the guy, if he had 2 months camp, like a full training camp, he would win.
Yeah, I think if that fight had been a 4-rounder, I'd probably say you give it to the.
Nobody wants to see Tony Bellew win a 4-rounder in Leeds.
Yeah, But I mean, it's great
only 8
preparation.
rounders.
It's great preparation for a division where with arguably 4 of the strongest champions in the sport. So he's preparing the right way, and I'm sure he's going to be, he'll be firing on all cylinders when he.
I truly hope so.
Well, he won't be going to Germany, will he? Because they come to him. The champions come to him. So,
What would Bellew's Hungarian name be?
Come on, Terry.
Oh God. He'd have to have an English nickname, Rocco, because I'm sick of these foreign names, to be honest, mate.
Yeah.
Tony Robocop.
Tony Bellevuskius or something like that. No, Alex, he's not English.
Belavutski, yeah, that's good.
He won't be
That's
going.
Russian.
He won't be going to Germany because, as he said in an interview yesterday, Germany, there's a lot of dodgy cards over there, and he doesn't want to be a victim of a crime in Germany, so he won't be going and fighting like the likes of Huck or anyone like that in Germany because there's some very dodgy cards.
So he wants
must be used to
something
it.
to come over here where UK has basically got the worst fucking officiating in the world for boxing right now.
Exactly.
He must be used to being victims of crime coming from fucking Liverpool.
Oh, he's the perpetrator of crimes coming from Liverpool. Alex, get it right.
Did anyone? Does anyone think he'll ever win a world title?
No,
I can't see it.
see that division. That's even the top 5 of every governing body. That's a stacked division. That I know Brian doesn't like it, but you've got the guy which is Makabu, Machunu. You've got Shakayev, Kudryashov. There's guys there that are.
They all
maybe
need to change their
Even
name to John
Makubu,
Smith.
who's like a fringe contender. Makubu knocks him out. No problem.
They're all guys. But they're guys I would expect to beat him. Do you know what I mean? There's not an easy fight there for a title, and there's no an easy fight for. See if he was to go and fight. See he was number 2 for the WBC, and he was to fight, for instance, Makabu. I would take Makabu to beat him. I don't think he can beat anybody that's top in that division. I just can't see it.
I think at light heavyweight, Bellew was. I always felt he was sort of a European level guy, or at best he was fringe world level at 175. But he did have a bit of a punch, not a great punch, but a bit of a punch. And
He was a
and
legit
he had quite a good
top
chin.
10
He had-
guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he had
He was a
decent-
legit top 10.
He was, yeah, and he earned his shot at Stevenson, and then put it all on the line. And we're going to mention that every single pod, by the way, just so people don't forget.
That Bellew shot it?
No, that he died in the ring, effectively, having lost his soul on the scales. Show some respect.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
being harsh there because he actually won that fight. Now that's your hater just coming out. He won that fight.
It could have gone either way, mate.
It was a close call. It was a close call.
How did you score it, Tom?
I had it 120, 108, Tony Bellew. Honestly, I thought it was a robbery.
Yeah. Classic.
See the
hometown
thing
guy.
where you're saying there that Bellew had a bit of pop at light heavyweight? I think this was some sort of myth built up for his amateur days because I never seen this power. Apart from the Oval Mackenzie fight, I never seen this power. I mean, I quite liked Bellew at the start. See when he got himself that fight with Cleverly because he was an absolute head case. I was like, I'm down with that. He just wants to fucking stab people, but then he just kind of got sucked into his own hype and started just saying some mad shite. And
Who's the fellow
actually
with the
believe in
tattoos
it.
that he beat? The fellow with all the tattoos that he knocked out like cold at light heavy.
Oh, I don't remember, mate. Was that before the Stevenson fight?
Yes. Oh, what's his name? English fella.
Danny McIntosh.
Danny McIntosh. That's him.
I think Oval Mackenzie's done more at cruiserweight than he has. I really do.
And
He's shocking. I think his power is slightly above average for the weight he's at. I mean, guys
Oval
at that weight,
Mackenzie
they're all
has been-
bangers.
Tony Conquest, John Lewis Dickinson, Matty Askin, and Jane Forsman. Fuck knows who that is. But that's better names than who Bellew's been fighting. But they're pushing Bellew because he's with Matchroom, and I just don't like it. It's the same. I know we're going to come on to Martin Murray. It's the same as this. Like, we'll just give you hunters a tune-up fights because we know we can get a world title fight because the Sauderlands have got their hands out like fucking beggars looking for any sort of TV deal. I hate it.
The problem with Mackenzie is that he's not very marketable, is he?
It's not that he's not
just
marketable. He's just too much of a risk.
he's an average, like he's a bouncer from Derby though, isn't he? He's just an average bloke. He's not
I wouldn't like to take a punch off him.
No,
I
of course
agree,
you
Tom.
can. He's not mouthy as fuck like Tony Bellew. He's not scouse like Tony Bellew. He'll just get random scouse folk
But
for
I
no
think he's
reason.
done his time. He should be entitled to a European, a world title fight.
I agree with you there. I think he should, but I don't
I
think
agree
he's
with
going
that
to
as
get it
well.
unless Frank goes for it.
Yeah.
You know, like and pushes a button.
Frank would have to
gets in
stump
it.
some money up.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
Mackenzie's 35, 36, 37. He's getting up.
Bit older than
Owen,
that.
do you know what I mean?
Who's the WBA belt holder for cruiserweight?
Lebedev.
Right, so
Lebedev.
like, over Mackenzie is like he won the vacant continental cruiserweight. I know that's not much, but it must rank him in. Surely they can twist that away where Lebedev will be like, oh, that's an easy defence. We'll take that. Because Bellew's not going to fight Lebedev.
Send him over to Russia, yeah, possibly.
Can I ask a question? Who thinks that
Who's
Roy
Lebedev?
Jones would beat Bellew now?
Who? Sorry.
Roy Jones.
I think that would be quite a close fight, maybe for the first 6 rounds. And
I
then
don't know,
I think
man.
Bellew might land a
Bellew
little
beat
bit
him
on
in the
him.
last
Roy
6.
Jones is trash.
Yeah, but Bellew is. We've established Bellew is. He's genuinely like.
See if
he
Roy
didn't have the
Jones
backing,
had a
Bellew
better
would
sounding
be
name, he would be a bigger
borderline
star.
journeyman.
Aye, definitely.
Go there,
Thing is,
Andy.
will Bellew beat his battle with obesity before then?
That's his kids.
Tony
fault.
Tits.
His kids have made him fat. Right? The little ones have been bringing food home, and Tony, he's been like tricked into it. It's not his fault.
Are these the same kids that gave him flu that time and who he blamed
They're
for the poor
responsible for
performance
everything.
against Isaac Chalemba?
Yeah.
He's not even cutting £10 nice and easy.
He's
Isaac Chalemba, TBE.
Who beats
Isaac
him?
Chalemba's fucking done.
I'm with you, Brian. When he fought cleverly, and that sort of time, I thought, he seems like he wears his heart on his sleeve. He talks a good game and everything, and I bought into it. And then, after watching him over the years, I mean, he promises fireworks and delivers fucking like a sparkler, doesn't he?
I mean, that first fight was decent. I thought that was quite a good fight. That him and Cleverly the first time around.
Yeah, but he
It's
talked
probably the
like
last good fight that he's had.
right.
No.
It was a decent fight. Decent, not. I wouldn't say it was a good fight. It was solid.
But we don't get much over here, so that's basically like a fucking Barrera Morales, isn't it?
But the narrative has been twisted since that fight into it being like a really close kind of, maybe Cleverly got the benefit of the doubt because he was champion sort of a result. Whereas I thought Bellew Cleverly clearly won about 8 rounds. I didn't see anyone score it for Bellew, to be honest. But Tony's twisted the whole
Bellew
thing.
winning that fight until the 11th round, and Cleverly won the last 2 rounds.
Oh, okay. So you had a 7-5.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I asked this question on the Asylum. What was the last good Bellew fight that you watched?
Danny McIntosh. That was the last good fight.
Brewed off because he almost got chinned, and I was really excited that he'd get knocked out at home, and that would have been really funny. But obviously on paper, that was terrible.
Yeah, exactly. The good fights that he's been in were when he got chinned or nearly got chinned.
It's like Broner. Like
Exactly.
The fights when Broner looked great were boring as he was fighting guys from 2 divisions below. It's boring. The good ones are the ones where he gets beaten up and hurt. Although the Port fight was horrible, so I guess it's only the Maidana fight really.
His last kind of decent fights was really like 2011 when he 2010 was the first Mackenzie fight. That was a decent one. The second one was pretty shite. Then it was Cleverly. So
That was a masterclass, Brian.
You're talking maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, and it's
That was
just
boxing
absolutely
masterclass.
mad that people believe the nonsense every single time, and they get.
I promise fireworks.
Yeah,
It's
they
almost
just-
as bad as fucking Ricky Hatton. I've got the fire back in my belly. Sort of fucking nonsense.
Yeah, Alex. It would be like if
Hatton's
every
dogs
2
get tits.
years had a comeback and was like, right, seriously, I'm back now. Like I'm trying.
The fire is
I've got it
back in my
now.
belly.
Yeah.
Fire's
It's
back in his
raging
belly.
in my belly.
Every 2 years, he sells 40,000 at the MEN, gets beaten, and then 2 years later he comes back. No, seriously,
well,
I really mean it this time.
Because that proper cost him a fortune.
Aye, that's how he's got fire in his belly. He's got fire on his nose as well.
Aye. None you're free for a ton with Ricky Hatton. No, he likes the fucking proper gear.
Right, guys. Just going a little bit further down slightly further up the card. Actually, the Martin Murray fight. To be honest,
We're still talking about this card. Fucking hell!
It was a bit of a joke. Should we skip the Murray fight?
I'll tell you my thoughts on the Bellew and Martin Murray fight. I didn't watch them.
Yeah.
Right. And that Rocco can jump in here and say, "Can you hear me?" I'm a casual, not right, but I'm not investing my time into shite fights that Tony Bellew and Martin Murray know they're shite. Right? They fine well know they're fucking shite. So why should I go out my way to go and sit and watch these when, like somebody says to me earlier on, Martin Murray looked embarrassed himself over that fight. Yeah. So why should I spend like half an hour, a fucking hour watching two shite fights? I mean, they two fights dragged on for fucking ever too, man. I kept getting up and it was still going on, and I was like, well, I'm getting back down the sphere.
What is the point of putting guys in these fights? Because sooner or later, I mean, they seem to be linking Martin Murray up with Abraham, right? So if he's going to get in there for a world title shot, what's the advantage of having him fighting guys? I mean, let's be honest, they shouldn't be in the fucking ring. You know what I mean? They're
advantage at all.
They're glorified trash cans. And so how is that doing him good? How is that preparing him? I mean, Hearn keeps coming out with saying, get him out as much as we can so we can get his profile bigger and stuff like that. What the fuck? What good is it to anybody? I mean, really? He's just going in there and just, what did he know the guy doing? Was it 7 times or something? What's the point of that?
He's got no fans. He's never going to have a big fan base, is he, Murray?
You've got no fans.
That sort of guy.
Murray, he's fought 3 times now under Hearn. All 3 times are at prime time English TV, so 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock starts across the board, and all 3 fights have been so boring, I've wanted to fucking gouge my eyeballs out.
See the thing is, see if like an alien came down from planet Rocco and says, why is Eddie Hearn a cunt? You would that card epitomises everything why he is a cunt.
I could show him 3 Martin Murray fights that he's had under Eddie Hearn, and the alien from Planet Rocco would be like, "Fucking hell, Tom, you're right."
This is Hearn over the back, though. He just feeds Hunters a shite and tries to manoeuvre the rankings, manipulate it so much. He done it for Quick for ages, and I just kept manoeuvring, trying to get that one payday, and he's doing it with Martin Murray. He's giving him fucking Hunters a shite fights, and somehow he's going to get a world title fight with Abraham. Now, Abraham's no great, but he doesn't fucking earn it. There's plenty of people in that WBO ranking system that deserve that fucking fight ahead of Martin Murray. It doesn't matter what he done at middleweight. This isn't middleweight. And the same with Bellew. Bellew's not fought the people that should be getting... He turned down a fucking final eliminator, and now he's trying to chase Hernandez. Well, how about fight somebody in a final eliminator? Just don't fight these shite and get your wee fucking bent belts like your WBC International Pube and stuff like that. Fucking fight somebody proper, then fight a champion. What is this? It's just basically every cunt's getting a world title fight and they've not fucking fought no cunt.
How many final eliminators does someone need to have before they fight for a
Stephen
title?
Smith's had 284 fucking final eliminators.
I honestly think...
This is the thing.
Yeah. Go on, Alex, sorry.
I was going to say, this is the thing, that the reason why they're doing it is because fans of those fighters, even if they haven't got that many fans, they're still going to pay and see this. The VIP tickets, 200 quid, 250 quid, go and watch Martin Murray. They do that 2 or 3 times, that's 750 quid, $1,000 before they even fight someone decent. So Hearn's getting $1,000 out of the fans before he's even had to put on a decent fight for Martin Murray. It's a fucking piss take, and people, they're paying out their ass for it.
To Germany.
Exactly, so he's got to pay nothing.
Yeah. So he's not even going to promote the show.
It's not as if you get a discount. It's not as if you get a discount if Martin Murray fights a shit opponent, but you've got to pay more if he fight a good one. It's like the same thing with Kell Brook. Kell Brook fights absolute dog shit, then he fights someone good. You've got to pay more. You don't get a discount when it's someone fucking bad.
Are Universum going to promote this show for Arthur Abraham, or Sauerland's going to promote this show for Arthur Abraham?
Are they?
They probably will, won't they?
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah. So what's Hearn actually contributed to Martin Murray then, other than 3 shit fights with fucking retards?
He gave him a cheeky Nando's discount card. That's about.
Did he give him a black card for
Tommy's
Nando's,
probably.
mate?
I mean, being sort of boring about it, he's probably said, "Look, I'll get you out 3 times this year." When did he sign him? In like March or something, wasn't it? He probably said, "Look, I'll get you out 3 or 4 times before the end of the year, and you'll have, you'll be up in the rankings, top 10 or whatever." And Murray said, "Well, having sat on my arse with Ricky Hatton for 5 years, it's music to my ears." Do you know what I mean?
I understand that, but at the same time,
sorry,
go on.
No, I was going to say, I agree with Brian. I mean, I've seen enough Tony Bellew and Martin Murray fights. I don't need to sit. Well, I don't. I work on a Saturday night. I don't need to sit there and watch them fight. Some absolute bums. I mean, he also said yesterday, Bellew, that Latvians, that he tried to big that geezer up and said he was tough and everything. But I don't need to watch. I know they're going to win, but I'm not being funny. Like the people that's going to watch that on a Saturday night are boxing fans, right? No one's going to watch that and come across it and go, "Oh, do you know what? I really like this Martin Murray. He's really grown on me." Boxing fans are going to watch it and they're already going to have an opinion on them, right? Now, I'm sorry, like people will watch Joshua and they will fall into the follow the journey because he's going in there and he's knocking bums out in 1 or 2 rounds. Watching Murray and Fatty Bellew, right, struggling, going 7 rounds with these bums, that is not going to impress anyone. That's not going to get them new fans. They're not going to build like this massive fan base.
Yeah, and it does nothing for the real fans who watch every week. Yeah, I agree with you completely. But
and also when he signed him, he straight away mentioned, like as he does for every super middleweight, that they're going after Groves. Like it's like The Walking Dead. Like they're all chasing after Groves. And he mentioned that, right? But Groves is fighting in September. Groves won't fight now until at least the start of next year. So I would think Murray's going to have another fight before then. Do you know what I mean? So that'll be another bum. I mean, as I've said all along, why not throw him in with fucking Paul Smith or, Callum
Terry,
Smith?
did you really just insinuate that Paul Smith's better than anyone that Martin Murray's actually faced recently?
No, but Murray could win the British title, couldn't he, though?
I'm saying if he's going to throw him in with anyone,
I understand.
Why not throw him in with a name, someone that the English fans will know, rather than, another...
Pregnantius Latviansky.
Rocco, that's a...
Joshua.
I think that's a good suggestion.
Yeah,
actually,
fucking throw him in with Anthony Joshua.
See, I think it was Alex last night on the Boxing Asylum. I say that big shout out to the Boxing Asylum. No hatred
That's the second
here.
advertisement, cheers.
One love from all of us.
That guy from Birmingham's my favourite.
He basically said that...
It's ambiguous, because there's 3 guys from Birmingham. Just in case you didn't get it.
Not to speak a piss.
They basically signed Martin Murray because they thought they were going to fuck him in with DeGale. DeGale just says, "Nah, I'm going with him and fuck off here," and then Hearn's fucking flipping his lid, and now he's maybe kind of trying to go back to Southlands and say, "Oh, we screwed you over with Cleverly, but come on, we'll give you a wee cheeky TV deal for you and Groves if you give another world title fight." But the thing is, I would absolutely lump on Martin Murray beating Abraham. The two of them have got similar kind of styles, but I just think Martin Murray's a bit better than Abraham.
I think he's a bit better, but I think Abraham punches a bit harder, and it'll be in Germany, and I think it's almost guaranteed it will go the different.
He punches harder, but as much as we like to take the piss out of Murray, that he didn't do nothing for 9 rounds, 9, 10, 11 rounds against Golovkin. He's still stuck in there where everybody else quit. You end up getting people quitting after the one punch, but he's stuck in there. So if he can take Golovkin's for that long, he can fucking take Abraham's.
Yeah, I think that fight's got decision written all over it. I agree with you. What Rocco said actually was a really good point, and I actually think.
Really?
Seriously. Think about this. That's
a first.
Mr. King.
No. Honestly,
Mr. King. Even a broken clock is fucking right twice a day, pal.
Have you ate a clock before?
No, he's had nuts and juice though.
Can you hear me?
Hello? No, listen, because Rocco made a really good point there. They're going after Abraham, right? The Paul Smith fight is perfect for Murray. He beats the guy that Abraham beat. Maybe he can stop him. Maybe he can do him a little bit better than Abraham. He can win the British title. It's whatever you say. It's a name for the fans, for the casual fans. Paul Smith. He will beat Paul Smith. Paul Smith's actually, to be honest, I don't know if he can make 168 anymore. But he'll beat Paul Smith easily.
Paul Smith isn't the British champion, though,
isn't he?
No, that's going to be Rocky Fielding.
They strip him. Okay.
Because he was too fat.
He never lost it, did he? He never got beaten.
No, because remember they kept trying to get some shite opposition so he could win the belt outright, but the British Board of Boxing Control wouldn't allow it. So eventually, somehow, he got the Abraham fight after fighting some cunt with a 7-2-1 record, and then he said he was above British level now, and then he gets the Andre Ward fight, and next thing you know, he thinks he has the fucking kingpin, but Fuck it, make the Martin Murray fight, because Murray'd fucking split him in two anyway, and we can
also-
all laugh at that fucking big chubby cunt again.
Paul Smith said something recently about he didn't think that, who was it? Dennis Douglin was good preparation for Grove before fighting Jack, and then someone reminded him, Paul, you fought a bloke with like 9 fights and a losing record before you fought Abraham, so you're being a little bit of a hypocrite again. And then Paul probably blocked them, I'm assuming.
It was actually Paul Smith
Took the
saying
piss
that
out of
about Martin
their
Murray, that Torres
it was on
wasn't very
Murray,
good
wasn't it?
preparation
Sorry, yeah.
for Arthur Abraham.
Yeah.
And someone on Twitter mentioned, was it what's his name? Oh, it began with S, the guy's surname. Anyway, the guy was
Stalin?
like, yeah, he fought Stalin, and Stalin was like 11-7, and yeah, it wasn't very good preparation for Andre Ward.
Just on Paul
it was
Smith.
perfect preparation for Abraham twice.
I hope Paul Smith's fucking getting well paid with Sky, because he needs to keep fucking getting different suits into the fat fucker. He was huge at the weekend and all. He's never coming back. He'll end up fighting Bellew at cruiserweight.
Yeah, I don't think he'll fight again, really. I'd be surprised.
He has a rotund character now.
I think he's above boxing now. He's so good. He's above fighting. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's
he's like
it. If you're
transcended the sport.
Exactly. If you're world level losing against Abraham, if you lose against Andre Ward, who's pretty much at the top of the pound for
That's a
pound
better
game,
loss than Abraham.
he's transcended it. Yeah, exactly. He's above
Well, he basically
pound
went
for pound.
out in his sword against Andre Ward. Floyd fucking went 12 rounds and done nothing against him, but at least fucking Paul Smith went in there and had a right go at it. Come on.
And to be honest, Paul Smith was doing really well until he got cut. I thought he was on track for a victory until he got cut. It's unlucky.
Exactly.
It's just bad luck.
How did you score that fight, Tom?
111 to 118, Paul Smith.
Considering it didn't go the distance, that's quite an
Yeah,
impressive
it definitely went the distance. What are you talking about? Stop fucking lying to me. We should stop lying. All these fights that I've seen, right, and you're just lying about all of them. It's awful.
Well, listeners, we're going to introduce a feature in the future where we give Tom a historical fight that had differing interpretations at the time, and he comes back after a week. It's sort of like homework, because he's learning the sport, bless him.
Tom basically had Dawson beating fucking Stevenson.
No, Tom picked Ken Shamrock to beat Kimbo Slice after he'd been knocked out 2 days later. That's how bad Tom's scorecards are.
And Tim Bradley earns 10 million a fight. Yeah, let's move on. Right, so, okay, does anyone want to say anything about Floyd before the weekend? I'm not really asked about it. I will watch it on Box Nation, but I'm not particularly bothered. I'm more excited about the Groves fight, to be honest.
Hope he gets put into a coma.
We were
Such
saying,
hatred.
Hater.
We were saying, Brian, mate, you might have an opinion on this. I was talking to one of the guys from HBO who he recently wrote a big article on the Tyson-Douglas fight, and he'd like done loads of research, and he'd spoken to all the one Vegas bookie who took bets on that fight, who lost a fortune, and he was like still angry about it 20 years later or whatever. And I said, is Berto KO Floyd a bigger upset than Douglas knocking out Tyson? And he said he thought it was purely because, Floyd's never even been, he's never even come close to being knocked out. Whereas at heavyweight, there is always a chance that you could catch a big punch.
No, I don't agree with that. No, but
No?
mainly because Tyson, regardless of his background, and KO Kings is probably going to listen to this and he'll be fucking spunking in the face right after selling now because we'll start talking about Tyson. But no, Tyson was in his peak. Tyson was in his peak at that point, and everyone was fucking terrified of him. As soon as the people were getting in the ring, they were just wanting to quit. It was a bit like Golovkin went. As soon as they get one punch, that was him.
They had to scrape around to get Douglas, didn't they?
Yeah,
He was really kind of a second-rate guy at the time.
Whereas with
Hadn't
Floyd,
Tyson just got out of jail? Or was this
No,
his second run?
No, it was before, mate.
This
It
was
before he
before
went to
jail. This was.
This was his first. This was the end of the first run.
cheers for that insight, Tom.
Only the most famous fighter of the last 30 years.
Yeah, but
Never mind.
with Floyd,
Rated Mike Tyson, so doesn't matter.
I'd say Floyd is 8 years past his peak. He's totally changed his style. He's not one of these kind of ferocious punchers like Tyson was, and it's not as much as a shock as it was with Tyson, but it'll be more celebrated obviously with social media and things like that, and because like he's undefeated, he's built it this long, he's been undefeated for 17, 18 years or something like that. It'll be more celebrated than a lot of people were fucking devastated that Tyson lost.
They were, and I think it's really weird that fight is talked about so much more than the fact that Larry Holmes lost 49-0, didn't he? And people never talk about that. Like, he was so close to the record as well, and no one ever talks about that.
That was a bit of a fucking dodgy decision.
Yeah,
he went to was his Spinks.
Yes, I think and it was the massive upset.
I hate these
and then he
Spinks,
kind of never had it after that.
They're fucking right weirdo looking bastards. I always hated them cunts.
He had too many teeth.
No, but I definitely don't think it would be the biggest shock ever, but it'd be the most celebrated. Oh, for fuck's sake! If Floyd lost to Berto, I'd. Oh.
No, it's not. It's not Floyd losing. It's Floyd getting sparked out.
I tell you what, if Floyd was sparked clean out, my dog that's lying right next to me would be getting fucking punched clean out itself. I'd be fucking raging, man. It'd be going up to the vets, fucking wired.
So, guys, what do we say? Floyd is sparked in whatever round you want by Berto, one punch. Is that a bigger upset than Tyson getting knocked out in Tokyo?
I think no, because
okay.
It's not at heavyweight.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Sorry, I think...
No, fair enough.
Yeah, I think no.
Rocco, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, you become sort of like desensitised. I mean, I remember that Tyson and Douglas back in the day, and it was like, oh my God, do you know what I mean? I can't believe it. Like, but that's diminished over the years, so I can't remember matching them up. But it would be, from what I can remember, the biggest shock. I mean, he never ever looks in trouble, Floyd. It's not even as if he's ever, other than that Mosley round 2, it's not even as if I've ever seen him wobbled or anything, any sort of trouble. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, he's been knocked down twice, hasn't he? But they've not been clean knockdowns.
I think McDonald hurt him far more than Mosley hurt him.
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
I think McDonald hurt him far more than Mosley hurt him. I mean, he recovered. He recovered pretty quick with Mosley. He had the senses about him to grab and hold him for a while, but McDonald had him fucking seriously bad. It was like holding on to the rope, getting back to the corner. It was like see if McDonald getting top of him in that fourth round. I was like, that is the worst I have ever seen Floyd. He looked fucked.
Mosley, yeah, I think Madonna maybe had him badly buzzed. Mosley completely trucked him with that punch.
Yeah,
that was a proper Jim Watt shook him to his boots punch, and he went like his arse basically touched the canvas. He went right down, and then the strength in his legs, he managed to get back up at the stage.
But this is what people just ignore about Floyd. Look at the age of him, and look at the shape he's in to be able to recover for these punches. Like, if everybody else took their boxing seriously, then it'd be a better thing. Maybe, I know Alex will probably jump in there and what's he taking? Fuck, whatever.
Testosterone replacement therapy.
See if people are in that condition and fighting for that long and being that good, taking these sort of drugs, and every fucking one of them should be getting rattled on it. But look at Frankie Gavin, the fat disaster. He can't even make 140, the fucking lump of shit.
You'd have to cut off an arm to make 140.
Right? You know what? He should stop fucking for
genetics, though, isn't it? If Frankie Gavin was a black man, he'd do it fine.
Aye, of course.
Floyd was from Birmingham. And
if Floyd was a honky man,
he'd have lost to Bundu as well.
Aye.
So.
Floyd doesn't eat Dominoes like Frankie, but Frankie loves a Dominoes, doesn't he?
That reminds me of the I think, honestly, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen on Twitter, Tom. It was when you tweeted Gavin after the Brook fight, and he said something like, "Has anyone got any tips on losing weight? I'm trying to move down to 140." And you replied, "Stop eating pizza for a start." And he came straight back to you and went, "Are you watching me? I've literally just had pizza." And it was like, for fuck's sake, mate. Like, I thought you were taking it, like, it's ridiculous. Like, the self-awareness. Do you know what I mean? He's a complete mess, but he gets what he deserves.
Frankie Gavin's awful, and he is awful because he doesn't train properly. He doesn't eat properly, and it's just terrible.
And it's been coming for a long time, hasn't it? I remember when he got sent home at the Olympics for being well overweight.
For being fat.
Yeah.
He's a fat lightweight, and that's...
Listen, you are just being haters. He knows his body better than anybody else. He can't get to 135. He needs to be at 147.
If he had a tan, he would have had a six-pack for that Kell Brook fight.
To be fair, I did actually think he looked in better shape than usual for the Brook fight.
He looked like a corpse at the weigh-in, though, didn't he?
He looked very skinny in his face, but I thought his he looked like his torso was much more defined than it had been against Bellew. He just looks like.
What, did he have a 1-pack instead of a no-pack?
Yeah, I think he sort of had you could see his hip bones. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before that, he just looks totally flat.
The only 6-pack he's had is Stella to go with his pizza, to go with his stuffed crust.
You know he gets stuffed crust as well, don't you? What toppings do you want on it, Frankie? American hot, please. Stuffed crust. Yeah.
It's some strawberries.
What was that?
Would he turn into the elephant man there?
Why did you bring Tommy Coyle into this conversation?
Shaking Eddie Hearn's hand. You've been very kind to me. Like the elephant.
That was I tried to do Frankie Gavin's voice and it ended up being Tommy
I'm
Coyle.
not an animal.
Yeah. Frankie the elephant
Merrick.
man. That's a new nickname for him. Oh dear. Right, so
Maybe Coyle should fight Campbell next. That'd be a good fight, wouldn't it? Coyle Gavin.
Coyle Gavin. Yeah, well, if Gavin could get to 140, it might be a good fight. But yeah, anyway, pay-per-view if it happens. But right, guys, the next one.
I love how this is escalated to Floyd to fucking Frankie Gavin.
We're going from the two best pure boxers of the generation, Brian. You go from Floyd to Gavin. It's natural, right? Floyd never got gold. Did Floyd get gold at the World Championships? I don't think so.
No, but he also does look as if he's going to have diabetes in about 2 years.
He'd trade it all in for that gold.
No, couldn't even make weight for the Olympics. That's when we knew you're fucking shite.
I remember the interview at that time, and
it wasn't his fault.
He was really angry and saying he'd been let down by his team, and it was like, what are you talking about? Like, were they force feeding you? That's ridiculous. Like, and he kept saying he'd been let down by the.
It reminds me of Shaggy because it wasn't him. Know what I mean? It's never his fault. It's never his fault. Fucking boring.
Coming attended to the river girl next door.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. Frank Warren signed him up to a minimum of something ridiculous, here
we go.
The fight as well. It was like James DeGale. They signed him up for ridiculous amounts. Straight.
Was it 5 million or so?
Yeah, it was about 25 million a fight. Frankie Gavin was getting.
It's what Brandon Rios gets per round.
Yeah, 100 million per round.
I tell you what, Tom's inside info is fucking hilarious. It's all true, by the way. All true.
Ridiculously good contracts, though. Going straight from amateur to pro.
Well, they all debuted on the same card, didn't they? I remember watching that, and DeGale got booed for some reason. It was ridiculous.
And they've all gone to Eddie. They've all gone to Eddie, and he took them in his office, and he's gone. Do you know what, Sam?
I'm a cunt.
I'm gonna get you your mortgage paid. I'm gonna get you your mortgage paid.
Yeah.
I think Frank Warren's done that for them, to be honest.
No. His very first thing. Can you remember what he says? And I said to Frankie, I want to make you smile again. I've not seen you smile. What? Shut the fuck up, you cockney bastard, and stop.
We'll get you the Brook fight next summer. Yeah. Can you remember that? The Brook fight won't be until next summer.
Definitely not happening.
January.
100% not happening.
Can't make that fight now. March.
So this has come full circle. You've just mentioned Brook there, and Brook, Floyd is ducking Brook, so Barry Hearn told me last week, and that's why Floyd is retiring. He's going to beat. Yeah, he's going to beat Berto. It's going to be 49-0. It's going to be fucking glorious, because then all the haters are going to be there on Sunday going, I fucking hate Floyd and I'm black TB, then it comes to black, you're a prick and I'm black TNT, then they're black, you're a fat bastard and I'm black 49-0, and then I'll block them.
When Berto knocks him spark out, you'll be polishing off your third bottle of bleach, and your dog will have his head caved in from you punching it so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill, you wee bastard. He better win this weekend or you are getting fucking leathered.
Right. I think that's a fitting tribute before Floyd's final fight. I'm sure he'll be listened back to that with pride in years to come. You
better win or I'm going to kick my dog.
Yeah. If you don't win, I'm going to ice my dog.
I just iced a dog.
Who beats
My
the dog
dog's
like that?
never been iced before.
Ryan Bellew.
Right.
I'm not saying it's the normal Edison Miranda, but I beat him.
These aren't world level dogs, but I beat these dogs. Right. The next topic is we might have to be reasonably prompt on it, but it's a Rocco special, which Rocco,
No, I think we should say this. I think it needs more time. It can't be rushed.
Okay, I'll tell you what then. I'll put the topic out there now, and everyone can think on it, and we'll discuss it later on. But the topic is we want to create a definition amongst the group of a casual fan, which listen, a consistent definition which we apply in the future, because I hear casual getting thrown about a lot, I hear hardcore getting thrown about a lot, and I think, as Rocco said previously, there are levels to each one, and I do think it would be good to get a definition going.
I can answer this.
Shit, don't
Can
go
I have
for
1
it.
minute,
Categorically, right
Can
now.
I have 1 minute?
Can I hear me?
All right, okay, everyone, listen. All right, Rocco, or you can have a brief
Can I have 1
speech.
minute for my manifesto?
Yeah,
Right.
Go for it, mate.
Right. And then you can all retort. You'll get your
Please
retort.
don't say what you're going to say. Please.
There we
Right.
go. Like a window.
Right. No, I'm a boxing fan. Right. The word casual gets thrown around, and I take that as the people that tweet Eddie Hearn for a retweet and that ask for, that Jamie McDonnell could beat Carl Froch and things like that. That to me is a casual. Right. I've never been to a boxing show. Right. And I'm quite proud of the fact, because I would rather sit indoors, save the money, and watch it in HD and all the replays and close up. I don't buy. Well, 1 second.
Andy, let him finish.
Being there and experiencing
That wasn't me,
the
that was Brian.
right.
Both
Listen,
of you.
right. I class myself as a hardcore casual. Right? No. Right. Look, it's like a
Everyone, let him finish.
contest. Right. Yours is slightly 1 millimetre bigger than mine, so you say I've got a big dick and you've got a small one. Where's the line? There's millions of people with bigger dicks than you. So at the end of the day, right, we've got a casual, right, and then we've got a boxing fan, right. Where's the line? Where do you become a hardcore fan? I mean,
The line's right down your jaw if I ever meet you. Fuck's sake.
Do I have to go home and learn Shingo weights inside leg measurement to be called a hardcore fan?
Yeah, Rocco, just
Since
stop
both
you there.
of you were a fucking tadpole in Daddy's ball bag, right? But
Rocco,
I'm not claiming to be a big fan of anyone. I'm just saying that you've got a casual and then you've got a boxing fan. Why do you need to? I class myself as a hardcore casual because I'm not interested in fucking amateur boxing. Not one fucking bit, right? Not interested in it. I'm not interested in fights like the other day, like Martin Murray against some bum Latvian. I'm interested in the big fights and the big names and the prospects.
So that's a casual.
No, listen, Rocco. I agree with you, and I think stop me if I'm wrong, but I think your point is that it's all relative from one person to another, and there's not just like. Because you can always look at the person who knows 1% less than you and say, well, compared to me, they're a casual, right?
Exactly.
And I do agree with you. And I like my definition of a casual is my brother, for example, who went to Froch Groves, who watched Mayweather Pacquiao round at his mate's house, but who probably hasn't seen a single other fight in the last 2 years. The last fight he watched before that was probably Hatton against Mayweather. Do you know what I mean? Like all he does is. Occasionally he'll see it in the paper and he might think, yeah, I'll go along to that. That'll be a laugh. And he'll text me and say, like, is this, are you going to this or whatever? He's aware of who boxers are. If you told him, if you said who's Manny Pacquiao, he'd know who he was. But he's not a fan in any...
The definition of a casual. Go into K.O. King's page and that's...
Yeah, but even someone like that who's set up an account and is actively... talking about boxing every day, they know a hell of a lot more than your average man on the street. Do you know what I mean?
It's the people that reply to him. They reply.
One second.
Let Rocco go quickly. Let Rocco go.
1 second. There are middle-aged women in Leeds who have been to 5 times more boxing shows than I've been to, and probably ever will go to, right? But obviously, I would class myself as a more of a boxing fan than they are, right? I know who Felix Verdeo is. I know who Shingo Wake is. I'm not, I know what's happening. I know who's fighting who. I'm just not interested in the stick insects, and I'm not interested in amateur boxing, and I'm not interested in mundane, run-of-the-mill, fucking
Rocco, do you know
standard.
who Roman Gonzalez is? Can I ask you a question? Do you know who Roman Gonzalez is? What's your opinion on him?
Yeah.
You said he's a stick insect. He's one of the top, in my opinion, he's one of the top 3 pound-for-pound boxers in the world, and you're just fobbing him off and calling him a stick insect. I mean, that's just crazy.
Andy,
I know chocolate tits, and I know Inoue.
Yeah. To be fair to Rocco, that's
Chocolate
kind of personal
tits.
taste. That's a bit like saying, I think cruiserweight's a stupid division. I'm not going to watch cruiserweight.
Right.
They should have got. Do you know what I mean? No. Listen. Because a lot of Americans think cruiserweight is a stupid, pointless division, and they should be heavyweights or piss off, basically. And they don't respect the cruiserweight division in the same way that Europeans.
There's a lot of talent.
Does that make them casuals as well?
I couldn't give a fuck about the cruiserweight division.
There you go. So Brian's a casual.
He's not fucking casual. That's stupid. You know what I mean? The cruiserweight division is stacked, but Rocco just said there is saying that because of these guys are stick insects, blah blah blah. You can't fob somebody's talent off. I mean, fucking Roman Gonzalez is talented as the next guy. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking mega talented. And
no, but
he's
my
just
whole
fobbing
point. See this debate. My whole point was that Rocco said that Flanagan versus Magdaleno and Smith v Sorrow was shite fights because he didn't even know who the opponents were. How could you say
exactly?
That is the whole definition of a fucking casual. If you don't even know the likes of Magdaleno and Sorrow.
Do you reckon?
I've heard of Magdaleno.
Okay,
I know the name, but I don't need to have watched 10 of their fights.
Right.
Warren's
But you said it was a shite fight. You said it was a shite fight because you didn't know them.
He said it was a shite card as well.
Brian,
I'm not interested in it.
Right.
But you were interested in the whole. You were interested in the whole show because you knew the two. You said that you were more interested in the whole show than this because you knew who it was. That was your exact words.
No, I'm not saying I'm more interested in it. I didn't watch the fucking whole show. I'm honestly, it's not a case of that of watching Matchroom or that. I'm just saying I knew Tommy Coy when that was all a load of bollocks, but I knew who they were. I know Liam Smith. I admit I've never heard of fucking Zorro. Do you know what I mean? But he ain't even fighting him there, is he? So
right, Rocco, I'll jump to your defence here, mate, because I hadn't heard of Sorrow before the Tapia fight. And then I heard that he was fighting Tapia, and I thought, I might watch that. It's on the international feed. I didn't know who he was. I looked him up before that fight, and I've now seen him fight once. But a year ago, I didn't know who he was either. So it's all just relative, isn't it?
Yeah, all I'm saying is it's a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a piss take that I'm saying I'm a hardcore casual because, I'm not like some of the geezers, some guys who are heard on podcasts who watch Cambodian amateurs and know their win-loss records and things like that. I'm just saying that,
Rocco, the only person that watches Cambodian amateurs is fucking Gary Glitter, and you and him have
Never proven. That's all I'm going to say.
Allegedly.
Listen, very, very quickly, Rocco. I think I'm coming down on your side on this, mate.
Yeah, the listeners can decide. They can let us know whether they think to be a hardcore, you have to listen to at least 3 boxing podcasts by one magazine.
Make a list a week.
Box Rec for at least 1 hour, 23 minutes.
You're just going crazy here. You really are.
Right. Anyway, no. Listen. At the end of the day, Andy, without stoking the flames, you're not presenting a counter argument. You're just saying you're wrong to Rocco. No, which isn't really the best.
Because
most convincing.
He called that Manchester show. What was he? Words he used, Brian? He says it was shite, and that's quoting, innit? He said it was shite because, in his words, he didn't know any of the fights. It's a good card. It's one of the best cards. What was the best, Rocco? That Leeds show on Saturday or the Manchester show, in your opinion?
Which is the Manchester show? Sorry. World War III.
The Manchester show is a bigger, headline fight. But I've sort of zoned out from Warren's stable and his domestic fights. Do you know what I mean? I'm not interested in them anymore. The stable's crap. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I've sort of zoned out from them. So perhaps there's a bit of that with it. But
Rocco,
yes,
right, You know who? Let's think of an example. You know who? We now know who Joel Brunker is, right?
Yeah.
There are. I would bet you there are a ton of American fans who watch fights every week, who are real fans of the sport, who have no idea who Joel Brunker is because he's never gone to America. He's never fought a significant person over there, even though he is world level. But he's never fought a significant person at in the States, and you can't watch every fight. And I agree with you on that. It's impossible to know. Like, if we said to Brian, right, what fights happened in Buenos Aires last weekend? And then if he said, I don't know, we went, well, sorry, mate, but you're struck off the list now.
But a casual boxing fan, somebody that's only going to turn up for named guys that they know.
I consider right.
I'm only going to turn up for fucking watching Canelo, Cotto, or Golovkin, Lemieux. That's a fucking definition of a casual fan. Just fucking big names.
But I don't think Rocco is that, because Rocco will watch like regular Sky shows, which a casual fan wouldn't watch.
I don't know about that shit.
A casual fan wouldn't watch Josh Warrington. They would watch Froch. They would watch Calzaghe back in the day. They would watch Canelo, Cotto, Mayweather. Do you know what I mean? Like the big. They might know who Triple G is, sort of. Do you know what I mean? They might watch Fury Klitschko. That's the sort of level we're looking at. I consider Stephen A. Smith to be the ultimate casual. Do you know what I mean? He gives a shit about boxing once a year when Mayweather's fighting. And for the rest of the year, he doesn't have a clue what's going on. Do you know what I mean? I think
he doesn't have a clue?
Yeah. Exactly. And he still doesn't have any idea, even when it's Mayweather against Pacquiao. But he talks the game and he acts like he's a boxing expert because he's been reading the news for the last week, once a year. And if you asked him what's going on right now in boxing, he wouldn't have a clue beyond Mayweather's final fight. That's a casual. And I think Rocco, if you put him and Rocco in a booth and gave them both a boxing quiz, I think Rocco would win quite easily.
If you said to him, who's Fumzo Banjo, he'd think that you was fucking joking. Do you know what I mean?
But you wouldn't know who that was either.
Yeah, I do. Heavyweight back in the 80s, 90s, 80s. Yeah. Gary Mason. I'm a big fan of Gary Mason.
Yeah, if you said to him, what was the result when Scott Quigg fought Stefan Jamoy in 2014? Stephen A. Smith would say, I don't know who either of those guys are. Rocco would say...
Quigg knocked out the Belgian.
You right, mate?
There you go, mate. Exactly.
Well done, Rocco.
Even though Tom had it a shutout for Jamoy.
See? Right. Hardcore casual.
There is no such fucking thing as a hardcore casual.
You're putting two words together, Rocco.
Hardcore casual.
I do agree that the name needs a bit of work. I do agree on that. But I think I see what Rocco's getting at.
It's a piss.
That's basically calling yourself a straight poof.
It's a little bit more PC than that.
Kilbrook.
Rocco's a bisexual boxing fan, is what we're saying. Right?
A fucking bipolar fan.
The listeners can let us decide. You know,
the listeners already think you're a prick.
The listeners love him.
They haven't met me.
The listeners love him. We got a lot of praise for the intro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, exactly.
Mate.
Right, guys.
For that Mandelson Square Garden, though.
Mandelson Square Garden. It makes me laugh every time I hear that. Right, guys, we're going to lighten the mood just a little bit with a game I like to call Let's Build a Matchroom Show. Okay? I'm going to start off by giving you a tagline in the vein of Marching On Together, or what's that Smith Fielding one called?
Who's fooling who?
Who's fooling who? Sounds like a
It
Western.
should be whom.
Who's fooling who? Yeah, I still don't quite understand one. If anyone has got it open, the name of the Stephen Smith card is hilarious.
The world at our feet, or something like that.
It's the world awaits, I believe.
The world awaits. That's it.
Which is it's so overstated. It's hilarious.
That was Oscar De La Hoya versus
Hopkins, maybe?
Trinidad.
Oh,
no, was it no Floyd versus De La Hoya? They used that tagline.
That's it. Floyd versus De La Hoya. The world awaits. Stephen Smith versus retard. The world awaits. Same level.
With an undercard of 3 TBA fights and then Gary Buckland.
Yes. Takashi Moira been found after ducking Stephen Smith for 3 years. Has he been found yet? Do we know the whereabouts of Moira? Is he safe?
Yeah. Miura should be banned from boxing after ducking him for so long.
It was the biggest duck in history. I hope he's safe and well. You know what I mean?
He's we need to locate his bollocks because he's been running from the Swifty for a long time. Right, so guys, I'm going to give you a tagline, and then just try not to shout over each other. But the first one to think of I want the name of a city, and then I want, preferably in the UK, but it could be anywhere, and then I want a headliner. If you can do a matchup, that's good. But knowing Eddie, it will be a headliner versus TBA. So the opponent doesn't really matter so much. Right. So number one, Escape to Victory.
That is a London show.
Okay.
And it involves, let's say, something really illogical, like Anthony Joshua with an undercard of Frankie Gavin versus Leonard Bundu 2.
Gavin Bundu 2, all right. And yeah, Gavin's trying to sort of sneak the victory this time and get out
I would go in a different
escaping
direction,
from
yeah.
that
I quite like
victory.
that.
He's going to do anything he can to escape from the victory.
And then it's
I would
maybe
have James
Joshua
DeGale
versus Joshua versus David Price, something like that.
I'm seeing Escape to Victory.
Rocco, say again, mate.
I'm seeing Escape to Victory.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Glasgow, Scott Harrison.
That's a really good shout. Against the TBA opponent, which falls through at the last minute and the card gets cancelled. No,
I'm basically seeing Martin Murray, Joshua scenes. They've either done time or get away with time, and Kilbrook headlining it against that fucking Tenerife dude.
The guy that stabbed him.
That'll be escape to it. Whoever fucking wins that fight escapes with their homosexuality.
Kilbrook versus the man that stabbed him.
Straight out of Kilbrook.
Right. Next one. You've got to be a bit careful with this one. It's a bit. It could go. Could go wrong. Soul Brothers.
What was that?
Soul Brothers. What are you thinking?
Soul Brothers?
Yeah. They don't say two brothers because that's obviously not what I'm meaning.
Oh, I was going to go Lee Selby and Andrew Selby making his pro debut.
Oh yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah.
There you go. Lee Selby headlining in Sheffield. Or wherever they're having him fight now.
And it'll be a Selby mandatory with Andrew Selby fighting a TBA guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe Robin Deaton versus Scott Cardle at Wembley.
Deakin will be involved somewhere.
Of course. The man's fucking time to shine.
Deakin in line for the winner.
Oh, TMT.
At what weight?
So I think it'll be Spencer Theron against another black man in any sort of
Oh
slum
Lord,
area.
Lord, I did declare I had those
In a disco alley.
But it'll be spelt brother as in BRBVA. Yeah.
God's sake.
Brotherly love. The city of brotherly love.
It would be Theron versus someone from the prison canteen, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And it would be Theron's big comeback. Right, next one.
Straight out of prison canteen.
Total Recall.
Ah.
Basically,
I think that's a comeback show.
Anthony Joshua, but Joshua. Oh fuck!
Anthony Joshua versus
being
David
called
Price.
for the phone box.
Is that maybe Bellew coming out of retirement in about 5 years at heavyweight?
I'd like to see Joshua versus Andrew Galota in Poland.
Oh. That's a great fight.
Bang! You're not coming out alive, Joshua.
Galota's still
Thomas
dangerous.
Adamek?
I think he had a fight in 2012, so he's still in shape.
Thomas Adamek hasn't had a fight for about 10 years.
Aye, that's Spielka. Take fight Spielka in Poland.
Okay.
All right. He goes to Warsaw and does him in his own backyard gym against all
What
the
about
odds.
Mavrovich? Says you call Mavrovich. He hasn't had a fight for about 15
mad
years.
football fans and the fuck. Aye, you know what? And have Warrington on the undercard and have the fucking Leeds fans fight all the Polish head cases, and we'll just get a fucking all clashing together. Just riots.
Why don't we have Josh Warrington headlining in Turkey?
Oh fuck!
Genuinely, that would be an international incident. Honestly.
Fighting against that boxer that just gets shot.
Selçuk Aydin versus Josh Warrington in Turkey. Brilliant fight.
Aydin versus Gavin, something like that.
Yeah,
you,
Josh
Gavin.
Warrington on the other card.
Aydin hasn't fought for about 18 months, I think.
How many people get stabbed?
They bring swords to that fight. Genuinely, I'm not even joking. They bring like scimitars or something. Right, the next one, and I think this might have already been used by Eddie Hearn at some point. Suspicious Minds. I genuinely think he might have used that in the past.
I have to go back to Kilbrook.
Yeah.
Just Kilbrook. Just that's it. Just have not. Just
on his own.
Just have Kilbrook.
Brooke versus TBA. Suspicious
Kilbrook
Minds.
versus Orlando Cruz. And have it.
Does TBA stand for the bum attacker?
Rocco. Right. Okay, they get a bit more stupid from here. The next one, Pride and Prejudice.
I think that's been one as well, hasn't it?
Really
We've got a Brian Rose.
I've got one. I've got one for this. I've got one for this.
Go on.
Pride. Brian the Lion Rose.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Blackpool. Prejudice.
Don't say something mental.
Yeah.
Perseverance.
Don't say something mental.
Yeah. Go on.
Don't say Abu Hamza or something like that. For fuck's sake.
I'm Jim Chowdhury.
Prejudice would have to be someone like Angulo, mate. Angulo, who got held in the detention centre on the border. Remember?
What
and he
about
wasn't given a
Antonio
visa.
Margarito?
No.
Brian
Because
Rose
Angulo
versus
had
Tony
actual.
Margarito.
What about Molina for being a beast?
Oh, mate, Brian Rose, Alberto Angulo. That's Alfredo Angulo even. Perfect. Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice would be like Hearn, Froch and Joshua, where it'd just be a big fucking love fest and it'd just all be going body eating each other, wouldn't it? There'd no prejudice there, just all pride.
Yeah, but you need both, mate. You need
the prejudice would be where Froch and Hearn are pumping each
Brian's
other,
tutting in the
leaving out Joshua, which would be a bit of racism, wouldn't it? So there's your prejudice there. Fucking no letting Joshua go body eating him. It's fucking disgusting. That's fucking terrible. I don't know why if Joshua's still with him. He should go to Al Heyman. There you go.
Right. Next one. How deep is your love?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Kilbrook.
I tell you how deep it is, about a 10-inch leg wound.
How deep is your love would be possibly a Ricky Hatton comeback, aged 50, and he's just begging for money, basically. He's just saying, look,
Hatton's dogs get tits.
I need cash.
Fire in my belly.
Would a performance by Take That, though?
They're not even bothering to promote it as a comeback. They're just saying, look, it's a fundraiser for Ricky. He needs
some more cocaine.
Like a concert.
Yeah,
Robbie Williams playing at it as well.
It's like Live Aid for Ricky.
We'll hold it in Tenerife because that's where he spends most of his time.
In an Irish
pub. Crown pub.
I met Ricky over in Tenerife one time.
Oh, right.
It was a 4-leg.
Nice anecdote.
Be very careful about what you say.
No, it was a good one. I ran about a mile in flip-flops to catch him, and it was.
Was he running away from you?
No, he was like, there's that Brian King. He's going to be in IEFL in a fucking few years' time. Come on, there, son. And I just started talking to him. I got a picture of him, and I was like, look, you'd be best off just forgetting that Mayweather. Just fuck him off. I think a lot of people would rather you fought Cotto anyway. It'd probably be a better fight. And he's like, aye, that's a good idea. Then 2 weeks later, he announced he was fighting Mayweather. I feel like right penis.
Thanks for the pick, champ.
Yeah.
No, he just fucking says you're going to be a big star one day, and I was like, I'm already there, bolt. Walk to me.
Don't worry about me, Rick. Yeah.
Hi. Walk on, Rick.
You need to worry a little bit more yourself.
Right, guys, 2 more, and these ones are they're going to end badly. Basically, the shows will end very badly. The Last Crusade.
Josh Warrington versus Prince Patel in Saudi Arabia.
In Bradford, mate. In Bradford. It's an absolute, the stadium burns down. Warrington Patel, face off.
Next.
Right, last one.
There's fucking Spencer Farron v somebody at Tottenham during the London riots.
Right.
Oh,
you'll not be listening to this, Farron. Bite my dick.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be listening. He does follow me, though. I might send him a link.
He blocked me.
We talk about you, Spencer.
I've been really nice to him for some reason. I don't know why. But,
he's a fucking floppy cock, that's what he is.
Right. Right, last one. Think very carefully about this. I don't want this one to be in the UK. I see it as an international card. 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. Where's that taking place and who's on it?
Okay, so that is Tony Bellew versus Jürgen Bremer in Hamburg.
Bellew Bremer, live on Sky Sports box office. Maybe.
And the RAF from England shot them down.
Oh, live from the Falkland Islands? How about that?
Yes, from Malvina.
Right.
That's
good. Well done, lads.
You're right, but Bellew versus Bremer about being Dunkirk or something.
And Bellew would like wear like a hard hat, like Saving Private Ryan style, to the ring, and like have like talk about going to war.
And a fake machine gun.
He'd wear like
a real machine
shorts,
gun.
wouldn't he? Yeah, he'd have a gun and stuff.
He could fucking shoot people in the crowd, you know.
And he'd talk about growing up in a war zone.
You got me Jap in there, didn't you? Get Inoue in there for some reason. Fucking wee kamikaze.
So he can bomb Pearl Harbor.
Inoue versus fucking Floyd. Then Floyd goes out with a victory where all the Americans love him because he fought for the fucking
blow up
Americans.
Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Floyd drops a nuke on Hiroshima.
TBE. Then he'll just get a statue and fucking next thing he'll be president and it'll be minted.
He'll be senator of Nevada soon. Won't
And
he?
everybody will be like Floyd will be like Hitler in about a few years time, and every cunt will need to wear fucking TMT gear now. It'll be fucking sweet.
It'll be a massive cult. Yeah, you're right. The real cult. Right, guys.
Cop.
So let's round off with the return of the Deakin list. Last week's winner, I think, was Tony Bellew.
I think it has to be Tony Bellew again.
Really? I'm not sure. I don't think he was in the most boring fight this weekend.
It's not just that, though. He tried to make out that the Latvian fella was way better than he was, and he got schooled for 3 rounds before the fucking guy gassed.
But
it was entertaining because he was getting embarrassed. Do you know what I mean?
I can't. No, it is. Yeah, you're
remember,
right.
like Gatti was, even when he was losing, it was still entertaining. And I do feel like Bellew does sort of entertain when he performs badly. Like, I don't want to see him beat anyone, but it's good when he makes mistakes.
Does he not come out to that? Are you not entertained? Apart from that, that is the fucking worst song on the fucking planet, man.
He used to come out to, I think it was against Adonis Stevenson. He came out to fucking Gladiator.
That's what I mean. Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
Are you not entertained? No, we're not, Tony. You're a fucking retard. Fuck off.
What's your game plan? Oh, yeah, run for 6 rounds. Yeah,
run for 6 rounds and then get knocked out, and Tom will still give you 120, 108 scorecard.
Absolute haters. He won that fight.
I think Hearn should get it. Bailey, see
Ken
that?
Shamrock won it.
For fuck's sake.
Go on, Brian.
See the fact that he said Brunker's world class, and the fact that Warrington beat him 12 rounds to nothing means he's world class. It's basically like no cunt's world class. You're shite, but we're saying you're world class, and then he's world class, and then he's world class, and then he's world class. It's like the total fucking opposite.
The participation award, isn't it?
It's the total like opposite of the lineal belt.
Everyone gets a rosette at the end, and everyone's a winner.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. It's
blue
so
band.
annoying to watch it because like,
the liberal sports day, every cunt's world class. You're world class. You're world class. Like
you
fucking
came
episode
7th
of
out of a
Oprah
class
Wednesday.
of 8, but you still won. You're still a winner. Yeah. No, you're not.
No, Brunker's not world class.
The fighter you've ever seen.
Brian, on that subject, if Brunker's world class, then what's Mitchell Smith?
True world class.
Mitchell Smith must be like a Hall of Famer if Brunker's world class. Genuinely, I'm not even joking now. Like this is.
I think he's already been inducted in Canada. He was there like a couple of weeks ago, receiving his award off the Lad Bible.
Yeah.
Lads, don't say this because Rocco think you're serious. And he will actually go and check the Hall of Fame list.
And they met Muhammad Ali. They got Muhammad Ali asked them for their autographs.
Rocco's just spewed because you mentioned a list.
Don't do lists.
We're in a list free zone.
You're on the list. That's why.
Rocco, tell the listeners how you can do a list. Go.
Right, I find it hard
That's enough.
to compare people from different eras. I don't know how you can compare them. Unless they fight each other, you just can't compare them.
Right, that's plenty.
Rocco, I think you're right, mate. I think, I agree with you.
Still game bingo.
All you can do is compare their competition, right?
Is Josh Warrington the lightest hitting fighter you've ever seen? Like, seriously.
I say that.
One of them.
That Argentinian guy.
No,
who's
I
40,
say he hits harder than
Rennie
Floyd.
Cuenca.
Cuenca's got to be.
Cuenca, do you reckon?
Well, he's
At world
48
level,
and 0
at world
in
level,
one
do you think
knockout,
he's
innit?
the-
Was it
I
two
feel,
knockouts?
Tom. I
No,
feel like
like-
Warrington could tire an opponent out and force them to sort of just be exhausted, basically. Do you know what
To
I mean?
quit.
Because he does punch a lot. Like
He
he'll
does,
he'll
yeah.
never even buzz an opponent. But I feel like
Cuenca
he could-
put that fucking Ik Yang down.
Yeah, he did. That was funny.
Didn't he
Bob's
put him
Chinese
down like
plan has
twice?
gone really well, hasn't it?
Yeah, Josh Warrington's going to get annihilated by Lee Selby. I would just like to add that.
Yeah, I can't think he wins.
No shadow of a doubt.
It's going to look like the scene out of fucking The Accused, isn't it, with Jodie Foster on the pinball
Out of
machine
Leeds
when that
versus
fight's made.
Galatasaray.
Oh, fuck.
What's okay, guys?
It's going to be Football Factory versus Dirty Sanchez, isn't it? It's going to be just fucking chaos. One set of geezers there go, fucking have it, fucking come on, and all the Welsh geezers like doing fucking shit bombs.
Eating
like,
leeks.
setting their hair on fire.
When geezers are going to be at a Leeds v Wales show?
Right, guys. Just to finish off, what's the tagline for the Selby Warrington fight when it happens?
Hem's a cunt.
No, Brian. We're angling for marketing jobs here.
Right, cool.
It
Yeah.
could be
Lamb
the
in the
Last
morning.
Crusade, maybe. Oh, slaying the dragon. Something about a dragon. That might
This
work.
is war. ... Literally.
This is war.
Lamb.
Literally.
I predict a
Succulent
riot.
lamb.
I predict right. Maybe. Yeah, it's not bad.
Racism is good.
How about Shep? How about the lamb to the slaughter?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Sponsored by Autism Research.
About Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs is good.
What about sheep shagging cunt?
Right.
Bring your tool.
What
I
fucking
walked
tool?
in a dentist and I've got
You
teeth like kicked
fucking
in fuse
dog.
box. The manky bastard. Walked in a dentist and his fucking teeth are all over the place.
What, your dentist?
Oh, yeah, he's a dental assistant, isn't he?
Aye, look at the state of his gub.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is he really
actually
dead?
is.
I think Nick Halling said that he's given the dental assistanting up.
I could have fucking fixed his
the
teeth before he
boxing
done it though, couldn't he have?
I can see
Well,
him
on the way
paid
to
his
buying a
mortgage.
house, Tom, I've heard.
Pardon?
I had to pay
Dreams
his
do come
mortgage,
true, mate.
It what, sorry?
He's well on the way to buying a house, I've heard.
Oh, of course.
Hearns paid his
yeah.
mortgage off. That fight with
He's got
Brunker.
a job already. That fight with Brunker, they're giving him at least 500 million. And, you know,
It's put him on the map.
it has, yeah. I mean,
I've heard
he's now
he's been advised by Tim Bradley's wife.
0.005%. Yeah, Tim Bradley's advisor has got him the real money. And I just think
Melissa Bradley, yeah.
yeah,
She
Mel
just wants
Bradley.
that money to stock the fridge up, doesn't she? Come on, I mean,
Rocco.
Right. no, sorry.
Right.
She's,
on that
she's
note,
portly.
Bang out of order, that Rocco.
yeah, Rocco, you are. We're going to have to consider
Honestly,
a
I'm not.
suspension.
I feel bad for saying that. I've said it a few times. I do feel bad because
Don't feel bad. He's not going to fucking hear it. You
I
prick.
didn't hear it, but I'm fucking totally disgusted at you,
Apologise
Rocco.
now before the pod ends.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Bradley. I didn't mean to.
I want you
Honestly,
to tweet apology to Tim Bradley and tell him what you've said.
Yeah.
Tim. Sorry.
Apologise to your uncle as well, Rocco.
Uncle Rapey Hands.
Right. All right. Okay. On that note, thanks to everyone, and we will be back possibly later in the week or next week. But yeah, should be available to subscribe on iTunes now. So give us a
Be on
listen.
YouTube as well, shouldn't it soon?
He's a wee cheeky review, people. Come on, 49
Like-
and 0 TBE.
Like and subscribe. Yeah.
And give us
Thank you,
5
guys.
stars
Thank
on
you,
Five
listeners.
iTunes.
stars, you fucking
5
bams.
stars.
Right, lads, shut up because I've timed this perfectly. So if we get off now, it'll be the perfect length. All right.
Go,
So well,
go.
gents.
See you later, guys. Cheers.
49 and 0 pubes.